From the arrest of Keefe D to Mike Tyson's explosive confrontation with P. Diddy and the jaw-dropping evidence that's been exposed, this episode will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's been almost 3 decades since we lost the legendary Tupac Shakur, but here's a jaw-dropper for you. The police have finally put the cuffs on a man they believe masterminded the whole shebang. Duane Keefeth Davis, or as you might know him, Keefe D, got himself in hot water on September 29th. And guess what? They've hit him with murder charges. But, and here's the kicker, Keefe D once spilled the beans about Diddy putting a cool million on Tupac's head. Now that's got fans buzzing, wondering if Diddy's in for a wild ride too. What's more, Mike's recent revelation is making waves. So, what's the scoop on what Mike had to say about Diddy's alleged role in Tupac's demise? Could Keefe D's arrest spell the beginning of the end for Diddy? Stick around, because we're diving deep into this wild ride. It's been a whopping 27 years since the tragic day when rapper Tupac Shakur was gunned down in a car out in Las Vegas. But hang on to your seats, folks, because there's some earth-shattering news shaking up the world of hip-hop. I mean, did you ever imagine we'd see the day when Mike Tyson, Iron Mike himself, comes face-to-face with P. Diddy? Hold on to your hats, because new evidence is about to be laid bare for all to see. Now check this out, it's a plot twist even Hollywood would be jealous of. A man, Duane Keefeth Davis, just confessed his part in that infamous crime, and now he's locked up behind bars. Talk about a jaw-dropping revelation in the long-standing enigma surrounding the 1996 murder of the legendary Tupac Shakur. So let me break it down for you. This dude Keefe, who the prosecutors claim had a hand in scheming Tupac's murder, got slapped with some cuffs and was formally accused of murder right in the heart of Las Vegas. Keefe's no spring chicken. He's a 60-year-old fella. He'd been on the investigators' radar for a while, one of the original 4 suspects. But guess what? He got nabbed while he was taking a leisurely stroll near his place on the outskirts of Sin City. But here's where things get real spicy. This arrest went down right before the prosecutors spilled the beans in court, revealing that a grand jury in Nevada dropped an indictment bomb on Keefe. 1 count of murder, my friends, involving a deadly weapon. And the cherry on top? They tacked on a sentencing enhancement tied to gang activity. So, if Keefe's found guilty, that's an extra 20 years on the sentence. Ouch. Now, isn't this a wild ride? What secrets might this arrest reveal? Was Tupac's murder more tangled and twisted than we ever imagined? This story's far from over, and it's about to get even more jaw-dropping. Now you might be wondering, what's the deal with Keefe in this whole scenario? Well, he's not exactly accused of being the trigger-happy guy who fired those fatal shots at Tupac. But here's the kicker. Nevada's legal system plays by some pretty unique rules. It lets you face the music for your involvement in a crime, even if you weren't the one pulling the trigger. It's like a legal twist that keeps us all on our toes. Let's set the stage, my friends. Picture this. A group of individuals caught up in some seriously shady business. We're talking about a real mastermind, Keefe, who was calling the shots. He orchestrated a plan that would send shockwaves through the entertainment world. Now I've got to tell you, when the Las Vegas Police Homicide Lieutenant, Jason Johansson, spilled the beans on this, it was like a bombshell dropping. Keefe wasn't just a bystander. He was the brains behind the operation, and they even hit up his place during the investigation. So here's the question that's bound to keep you up at night. What kind of master plan was Keefe cooking up? And what did P. Diddy have to do with it all? It's a real page-turner, my friends, and we'll get into all the nitty-gritty details that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Now, we've got some jaw-dropping tea to spill about Mike Tyson confronting P. Diddy, and we've got the inside scoop on some mind-blowing evidence that just got exposed. So, let's dive into the juicy details with all the zest and pizzazz. So, you won't believe this. The fuzz? Yeah, those law enforcement peeps? They swooped in and snagged a treasure trove of electronic goodies. I'm talking hard drives, tablets, laptops, you name it. But that's not all. They even snatched up some spicy documents related to TV shows, documentaries, YouTube episodes, book manuscripts, and flicks that all centered around the mysterious murder of the legendary Tupac. Can you believe it? But hold on to your hats, because amongst all the loot, they found a copy of Vibe magazine featuring the one and only Tupac himself. and a book titled Compton Street Legend, which was co-penned by none other than Keefe. Now here's the million-dollar question for you. What got the police all hot and bothered about Keefe? Well, it turns out his connection to the Netflix documentary series Unsolved and the drop-dead intriguing publication of Compton Street Legend a year later really got them on his tail. But there are more, folks, and it's a real jaw-dropper. Over the last few years, Keefe has been spilling the beans on multiple podcasts, openly dishing on his role in Tupac's untimely demise. Yep, he straight up admitted that he was the passenger in that white Cadillac on that fateful day, and that his nephew, Orlando Anderson, was the trigger-happy one who pulled the trigger. Can you believe that revelation? Now here's the scoop. Keefe dropped a bombshell in his interviews, hinting at something that might just send the cops knocking on Diddy's door. You won't believe it, but Mike Tyson's in on it too, confirming this jaw-dropping connection. Can you believe it? The internet's on fire with wild speculations, and it's got us wondering, could this be the beginning of Diddy's epic downfall? I mean, picture this. Keefe, in his interviews, hints at a revelation that could have the police turning their spotlight on Diddy, Tupac's alleged ties and all. Tyson's confirmation just cranked up the heat, and now, we're all on the edge of our seats, wondering what's next. This ain't your regular gossip, folks. This is some next-level mind-boggling stuff. So, here's the big question. Could Diddy's empire be on the verge of a colossal shakeup? Now, let me tell you the backstory of Tupac and Tyson's relationship. You see, Tupac and Mike Tyson were tight, like peas in a pod, pals to the core. In a sit-down with VJ Vlad, Iron Mike spilled the beans on how he once begged Tupac to be ringside at his Vegas brawl with Bruce Seldon on that fateful September 7, 1996 night. But destiny had other plans. Tupac got shot, and Mike's had that "what if I had been there" thought ever since. Now, as for P. Diddy, it's a whole nother can of worms. Mike had some serious beef with Diddy, and many reckon he was mixed up in Tupac's tragic endgame. LAPD detective Greg Kading dug deep and linked both Tupac and Biggie's murders to Diddy. The plot thickens, right? Diddy, though, he's been tight-lipped about it, calling it all nonsense. But guess what? Recent twists in the tale got everyone's eyes glued. Why'd it take so long to nab Keefe, the man who confessed openly? People are speculating. Maybe they wanted him to sing about the mastermind behind Tupac's fate. Now, here's where the plot thickens. Tupac's tussle with Orlando Anderson, Diddy's connection, could have been the spark that set the forest on fire. But there's more. Some reckon Diddy's offer of a cool million for taking out Tupac and Suge Knight was no joke. But Keefe, he played it down before, like Diddy was all talk, no action. However, Keefe's in hot water now, and whispers suggest there's evidence connecting that million-dollar offer to Tupac's tragic end. A guy named Eric Von Zip might be the missing link. Now brace yourselves, because Mike Tyson's in the mix too. Word on the street is that he thinks the cops are playing a sneaky game, using Keefe to get to Diddy. Fans are divided. Some want Diddy to face the music, but others say he's too big to fall. What's your take on this, folks? Can Keefe D's arrest bring Diddy down? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss our next bombshell.